At 800 Smythe Street, Vancouver, British Columbia, on the 12th day of August, 1990.
Land use and forest practices in BC have taken major strides forward, but not everyone is celebrating. Near Squamish, 60 kilometers north of Vancouver, some protesters have defied the law to put up illegal blockades and commit a wide variety of vandalism. This is the story behind the scenes. The fact is, International Forest Products logs in only 15% of the area, and that land use came out of a lengthy process of consultation.
Peaceful protesters?
Throw her on the ground.
I'm sorry?
You're calling them peaceful protesters? People that have destroyed equipment? People that have...
We have not destroyed any
people that have plugged up culverts?
The loggers want to work. They need to work. They have the legal right to work, but some protesters don't agree, and they turn them back at every opportunity.
Yeah, within about the next half an hour, we'll probably have 60, 70 people back here that would like to go to work. So I'd like to know if you're prepared to let them go to work.
No, sir, we are not.
And I get very upset when I see the protesters. Those are not people that live in Squamish. They're sort of like the hired mob that comes in to disrupt and not obey the law. Interfor's done everything right. They're doing good environmental practices. They had to go to the courts. They've got a court order that they can practice and do their job and keep people employed in that area.
What makes you think even one of us is on wall?
Brush up on your Russian, buddy.
You think we can't?
Many of the faces that came out there are people that I've observed over the years that have been at various blockades, and it seems that after they're arrested, that they seem to get a badge of honor where they move up the ladder and allow themselves then to take on a management role within the environmental protest. In the Iloho, one observation was quite clear was the accents of the people that were there. A large number of people appeared to be from the United States. The vehicles that were there contained license plates from as far away as Maine, Montana, and Washington.
These pigs are supposed to make sure people are safe.
We're all safe.
They're to protect both.
I hope you feel proud of yourself and strong and manly.
Protesters use various techniques to frustrate the workers, including tree sitting in active logging areas, intimidation at illegal roadblocks, and vandalism.
Is that where you're running?
I wasn't even there.
I don't think you were there. I'm just wondering, why are you running? Are you afraid?
No work. I don't have anything to do.
It's quite distasteful for people to have to deal with this stuff and come to work not knowing whether they're gonna be blockaded or confronted by these people.
The guys out here are very frustrated on what's going on. They're just trying to do a job that they have a legal right to do, and the job is dangerous enough as it is without having to worry about whether you can go to work the next day, or there's somebody up a tree that you're about to fall, or there's messed with your equipment. It's very unnerving thinking about a bunch of other things that you shouldn't be thinking about instead of logging.
I have seen myself, for example, grind wheels smashed on a drilling machine, heavy grease smeared all over the cab of a piece of equipment that is going to take some hard work to clean off so that it's operable again. Oil poured into vehicle batteries so that they're no longer usable, spray painting of graffiti onto company property and vehicles and that. So I've witnessed firsthand some of those reports of vandalism, and I know that other officers have also seen them firsthand. In summary, we have arrested some 13 protesters who have gone on to the Supreme Court allegedly for disobeying the Supreme Court order. We are investigating a number of other complaints in regards to vandalism and assault, and the only person who has been criminally charged as a result of all of our investigations is the protester who is appearing in court to face the resist arrest charge.
The sun won't rise for another 2 hours, but already the loggers come, arriving out of the darkness to sign their names to a promise to maintain the balance between wilderness, recreation, and industry, and to do it safely. All day the banner travels to the mill, to the office, until over 100 forest industry workers have signed it. Then, with no fanfare, it's raised above the road leading into the Iloho Valley, into TFL 38.
Over 100 people, employees of Empire Logging here in Squamish, signed the banner to indicate to the public our desire to, number one, work safely, because that has to be our first priority. Number two, to work peacefully, because nothing is ever going to be solved by violence or antagonism out here. And number three, to work responsibly.
Logging in this area has already been limited through a consultative process that resulted in vast areas being deemed park and protected area.
A couple of years ago, there was a large process that was put together by the government that included all the stakeholder groups. Many were invited, some didn't come and take part in it.
There are lots of opportunities for forestry and tourism to come together in Squamish. We're so close to Vancouver that we find ourselves hosting many visitors on a daily basis. And there's numbers of trails, there's campsites, there's lots that can happen out there in the working forest with tourism. I believe that, in fact, the companies locally have been very receptive to integrated land use, because that's where we need to be in this province.
In the end, what was concluded was we have park areas. They were set aside. They were taken out from, in fact, the working forest, in some cases of our tree farm license. It was a compromise. Those that took part knew it had to be a compromise. In our area, in tree farm license 38, we gave up 30,000 hectares, the Clendenning Park. The people that are out there right now interfering with our right to go to work didn't want to take part in that process.
I was the mayor of Whistler for 6 years, 4 years as a councillor. And what is remarkable is that from day one, I always recognized that we had to find working relationships with the communities that relied on the forest industry. And in the Sea to Sky corridor, in my hometown, we succeeded doing that. The stories that I hear in Europe reflect very little of what truly is happening in British Columbia, and in particular in the area that I represent.
Ultimately, it's all about balance and compromise, and forest workers are dedicated to that balance.
Before we harvest any block, we go in and we assess the streams and the wildlife issues, recreation issues. They're all a part of it.
Understanding the conflict requires an appreciation that forestry is as much about putting back as taking out, about providing access for different users, about seeing the individuals as well as the group.
Well, you know, British Columbia's got some great companies, Interfor, Weyerhaeuser, Odell, you know, I could go on and on. And as a former Minister of the Environment in British Columbia, I can tell you they're all very active in the environment, very active in good forest practices. Things in the past were not always done right, but that was true all over the world. But I would match our forest companies in British Columbia with any companies in the world when it comes to environmental practices.
We believe very strongly, we know that we are doing an excellent job of managing our forests. And we want that story to come to our customers. When we have a boycott, we tend to get a story that is miscued, misguided facts. And we want the real facts to come out. We want the real story to come out because we're very proud of it.
As we travel around the marketplace throughout the world where we sell our product as a province, it is very frustrating to hear many of the allegations and the claims that are being made by activist groups overseas. And those are claims such as we're destroying our old-growth forest, and we're doing it without paying attention to the will of the people. And it's extremely frustrating because of the fact that among any forest nation in the world, we have the strongest legislation and we have the best record on practices. More than half the old-growth forests in this province will never be cut. We're really doing a very aggressive job on making sure that the forests of this province will last for generations to come, well into the future.
Do you remember that big word? What was it? Forestry. Forestry, right. And we found out that in our classroom of 31, we had, anybody remember the number? 19 or 20 children connected to the forest industry here in Squamish.
And forestry industry is changing a lot. It's no longer the rough, tough logger that it used to be. There's all sorts of people involved, and I'm one of them.
At the end of the day, it's all about balance. Individual workers have to find their balance between temper and control, between work and life.
Ready, set, go.
On a larger scale, there has to be a balance, too, between competing uses of the forest. We have a compromise solution. We know nothing will be solved by confrontation. It's time to get back to work with sustainable forestry.